last matchup is Kratos and CatJam. I'm sure you've heard that a few times, but CatJam, CatJam, you know what that means.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've got some good, killers. We've got the Houndmaster to start us off. The CatJam's pick has picked Houndmaster now. For people that have not seen Houndmaster, for this team is always being played by the big Sir Smog. This man has played this killer for a while now. We have booted in, and I believe if I'm not mistaken, this is CT2 now. We are going to spawn in with the Pain, Eruption, and Call of Brian. So overall, an actual not too bad of a build. Now, keep in mind, everybody, Sir Smog plays this killer a fair bit. I've seen him build in the pub, see him, are we pubbing? I've seen that before, and I'm pretty sure that we will see a fair bit of, experience come through and shine through in today. So Tavi, I mean, for this killer, I'm not too sure what the average stages are, maybe 7 to 9 stages, but how do you think it is best to play this killer off the rip? Do you think it's best to, tunnel or get your freshers out the way first?
It's a really good question, Hasso. I have not seen that much Handmaster on this map. I think the last time I saw it was some like really high level EU matches going on, and I think that was like a Dragon Squid meta then. We do see Smug take the chase around check and just gonna break the pallets, so nicely thrown by Survivors of Kratos there. But yeah, again, I'm not really sure. It all comes down to like the speed of the first chase. Like I've seen a few Handmasters get taps just like this within the first 30 seconds, and it can potentially set up for a good mid to late game. But again, we have to see if Smug can do this. He unfortunately misses that Hound dash there, and he'll just have to hold W on to finish his chase, and he's still trying his best. He does try and get the lineup, does unfortunately miss again. So I think as for the game plan for Smug, like whether he can tunnel now is going to be much harder, because yeah, we see the first gen pop that was singled maybe, and we're going to see another one pop too. So I would say this is not a good start at all, considering Penrose is going to get no value.
Absolutely. I mean, he does have a decent pain res. In fact, he has nice pain reses overall, but one thing we talk about, sorry if my voice, by the way, sounds off everybody. I'm not 100% at the moment, so he actually doesn't have too bad a pain reses, to be completely honest with you, and it's actually not bad that he's playing, around. Obviously, he needs to get his freshers out the way. That'll be something that comes in completely clutch towards the end. But I think overall for Sir Smog, in the situation that he is in right now, where he is a bit dire, he needs to get this tunnel out of the game as fast as possible. And it looks like we're going to do that. So we do go down onto our tunnel. Oh no, this is a fresh survivor actually. So we are going to go for freshers here. Now, we are going to get a fresh. This will be pain race. So we now will start to get a bit more value off the perks that we use. Now, keep in mind, no op goes the weasel. He's opted to go for Eruption. Now, the reason Eruption is probably better for him on this map is probably because you get more value because of how far the gens are split from how big the map is. And wow, what a dog. Does not get the distance there though. We aren't going to get a tag here, but that dog is corrupted by the power. So, Harvey, we're not in a terrible spot so far on the survivors. Actually in a very nice spot. They've got a bit of gem pressure. Sir Smog struggling to find any survivors lurking now. His best bet is, he has to go towards the middle of the map a bit more and have a scout, see if he can find anything, because I think that is honestly his best bet. If he can find a survivor shortly, that'll come in clutch. So, I mean, Tavi, it is taking him a little bit. We have spotted our next survivor. What is he got to have to do to pull this game back into his favor?
Well, I think for the amount of pressure that the survivors had so early on, nicely dodged by Bill there, holy. Anyway, to bring it back, I think he'll just need to try and capitalize on the pain res. So currently he's only used one on the Zarina. It seems like he might be able to find somebody on this top side. I don't think any kill instinct was given away though, but yeah, we do see scratch marks. So this chase is short enough, which our survivors are proving that to be quite difficult. To get a short chase anyway. He could reel it back with a good amount of fresh hooks, but again, look at that. The survivors are just somehow spaced out really well. Adam just as I said, that gets hit over the pallet. So I think that was a little bit of a pink thing there, but he's gonna go down because of that. So yeah, I guess relatively quick chase. Just I'm talking about him not having a quick chase, and this is another pain risk. So we did see the reset come through. So that generator that was on high progress is not gonna pop. And if Smunk can get to that generator, I don't know which generator it is, but if he can get to it and interrupt it with a good eruption and call it blind, maybe the regression can pull him back to get more stages. I'm not sure how so.
Yeah, I mean, in a situation like this, it is pretty dire. We are in 3 stages, 3 gens remaining. Now, Sir Smunk, to his credit, he actually has pulled it back a little bit. Now, you talk about other players and how well they play under pressure. This is a man that I'm backing in a situation where it is dire. Now, unfortunately, he is in a bit of a sticky situation at the moment. But I genuinely believe that the big man can put his mind in front and, you know, figure this out. He could definitely 4K in one. I think he's actually doing a decent job to locate survivors. And look at that as we spot our Nia, if I'm not mistaken. Now, this is our original tunnel out. This is the life player, though. So we are going to get a bit of life distance here. We are going to opt to throw the dog over the pallet. Now, we do get a hit. What a hit from Sir Smunk on the dog. So, you know, the dog be biting and I'll be scared what the dog doing. And, you know, to be completely honest with you, there's a lot of value that you can get out of a special perk called Eruption. Now, Sir Smog running it on this map is very definitely the play. As you can see it come into play here. So, you know, overall these survivors do have a bit of gem progress, but I wouldn't put it past Sir Smog right now. He's actually getting himself into a bit of a groove, and I feel like he can definitely 4K this. There is no doubt this is going to be a pain res. He's actually not in a terrible spot now. He started to pull it back slightly. Now, keep in mind, because the map is so big, it is hard to get around, and the gem pressure will eventually get to build on him. So if he doesn't get these downs fast enough, Tavi, there will be gens popping like the main right there. So very unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, Tavi, he's actually done fairly well to come back from where he was at the start of the game, where he hadn't even had it down until there were 3 gens remaining.
Yeah, and I feel like as a personal opinion, I think our survivors kind of helped that a bit. Not through the chases, not through anything that direct, but I believe, oh, beautiful dog dash there. But I believe our survivors of Kratos have been unhooking survivors off the hook pretty quickly, so it's allowed Smunk to like transfer the pressure very quickly onto the next survivor, which I'm not entirely sure. Most conventional thinking would say that like you want to unhook as close to the second stage or like final stage as possible, but yeah, I guess Smunk suddenly has 5 extra hooks compared to 2 gens ago, and I think that's a really nice spot to be in, as you were saying. So I guess it should take a bit of stock about the gen situation too. I think main popped, so there seemed to be a bit of a 3 gen here on the west side of the map.
Yeah.
West side of the map, so a bit of a 3 gen. But I'm not sure if it's that holdable, because of course there are 4 survivors in the trial. That's a clean break as well coming off Bill. So again, I'm not sure how many extra stages he'll get, but I think anywhere close to 9 would be like a very ideal scenario for Smunk. But yeah, I mean, these gens are crazy high progress somehow.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. That's the whole problem. He needs to get his down somewhere, somehow. Now, give him on. What is this dog doing, dude? He just running around, getting in the way. I got no idea. A bit lost there. So, you know, we are going to opt and try and get a tag here. Now, this is, I don't even know if that's Adam, I believe. Sorry, that's the Dokes fit, so it usually catches me off guard. But yeah, so we are going to get a tag here onto the Adam. Now, keep in mind, Sir Smunk has freshers on every single survivor remaining in the trial, so he's actually not in a terrible spot. Honestly, Tavi, he needs a fast down. Really fast down if he wants to bring this back. I mean, I think that's the best way to put it, no? Like, if he doesn't get this down, I mean, yeah, it does look like it's gonna pop. I mean, he's committed this for too long, but it will be a down eventually. But that probably is a pop in the background, so I wouldn't be surprised. Now he probably isn't gonna.
Yeah.
Hold on, how have we gotten up?
Adrenaline.
Oh my god, sorry, I'm so slow. My brain is not processing half the things that are going through my eyes are flashing before my heart is beating. So I'm honestly not too sure what I've just witnessed. I did not know adrenaline was allowed on this tier. So I mean, well, nicely done for the survivors, but Sir Smonk actually shouldn't be too upset with himself for that performance, because I think that's going to be the average. And it's actually not a bad result. So Tavi, I mean, what are your thoughts on that game?
Well, I think I did comment about in one of the private text channels about Chief saying like 6 to 7 stages, and I mean, yeah, I mean it's technically true.
Instead of the Call of Brine, we have opted for Rapid Brutality. Now, this perk is very good for slower M1 sort of killers where you have to rely on catching up, and this is one of them, where it's not like Blight where you can just bounce up to the next survivor. But, you know, if we can find our first survivor nice and fast, it would be good. Now, we do have Hunter, just for anyone that can't see. Hunter, Mercy, Storm's Light, and Tree as a fish. So, you know, a strong lineup, team that has been synergized for a while, as Tavi said. Now, you know, this will be a good one. Now, we are going to give away a tag. Unfortunately, I'm not too sure how that hit on the screen, but we are going to give away here onto Storm's Light. Now, I've got to keep it down. I don't want to be too loud, but, you know, this is going to be a very... Hopefully, we can keep this chase going for as long as possible so our team can get some generator progress in the background. Now, we have gotten a dog bite. Now, this will be a down onto Storm's Light. Now, we might have to see how our pain reses are going, but Tavi, it does look like we are going to have a pain res right off the rip. How do you... Oh, we've opted to go behind main, so to ensure that we can't get to any gens straight off the rip. So, I mean, overall, they're actually not in a terrible spot. You look in the bottom left of your screen, they actually have a fair bit of gen progress going for them. Obviously, they're going to get forced off their gens. A few of them will be, but it shouldn't be too bad. I mean, Tav, how's the start of the game go? How much of an impact does the start of the game have on the rest of your game? I mean, obviously, if you have a terrible start, you have a terrible start, but I'm not saying they have, but in a situation like this to get downed, how much of an effect do you think it has on the rest of the game and how your performance is? Do you reckon it impacts many players, or do you reckon they can, you know, sort of dig themselves out of a little hole that they may have gotten themselves in?
Well, I think I've seen multiple like I've costed multiple times where like late game mistakes or early game mistakes are kind of like offset by like late game like really good plays, but I do pretty strongly believe that the start of the game is the most important. It's when the survivors have the most resources, and you're going to have that amount of resources in the game for the rest of the game. So you want to try and make use of them while you have 4 survivors that are up and running, in my opinion. But of course, there are some times where I guess maybe it's better to leave some dead zones. It all depends, but yeah, I think the start of the game is really important. And the fact that Pepsi now has two hooks, a death hook, I mean, with 3 gens left rather than just 1 hook, is such a huge deal. 3 is going to get caught out on this jungle, does not get the reverse or whatever was attempted there, because I'm not sure. But yeah, now the shambles, now the panic's going to start, because if Storm's Light cannot last for these generators, suddenly we might be seeing 4Ks on the blocks for Pepsi, which is really bad. Survivors still need to pick up Tree on the ground. Of course, we have the tunnel being chased, and I don't really know if they can last here, because I hit on.
Oh, cheeky little head-on play. That is what we love to see, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are going to take our take our dog to another part of the map, which will be Shack. Yep.
Oh my god.
So this is what we need. Get to Shack. Now we've got the wrong tool out, the wrong ability out. So unfortunately, this could be a dog bite right here, and it is going to be a dog. But there is a gen in the background popping. So this is actually, it's not terrible. It's a really, really nice death location. We've got the big headhunter. Look at him on the big ace fit, running a strong build as well. Got Deja, the sprint burst player, of course. So honestly, survivors are still in a struggling situation, but if they can last and take that chase towards the bottom of the map, more towards Shack, and get the pressure on these gens, and maybe then eventually once this gen over at 1 pops, they can sort of die towards the 8 side of the map. That is probably their best bet, but we are going to spot a survivor in the blue, and that is going to be Tree as a fish now. Tree getting the smash hit value. We absolutely love. Unfortunately, is going to get a dog son. He's a very nice dog. But, yeah, I mean, so far, they've actually got some really good gen progress. Even though this is going to be another pain res, which is not going to help at all. They have got some nice gen progress, and, yeah, Tavi, it's not looking, you know, it's actually looking all right for the survivors. I mean, whether they meet the win con or not, this definitely could look like outs if they keep this progress up, as we're going to take the chase onto Headhunter.
I mean, yeah, I felt the same like maybe 30 seconds ago when she was getting chased. That smash hit was crucial, but they just could not get enough distance. Hunter's playing this very patiently, wins a 50, then loses one immediately and just runs to the top side, which I think is a really bad mistake. Because although he lost here, I mean, it's just going to be like a cycle of going down in the top side to the Handmaster. If this continues, and he tries to jiggy to the bot side, it kind of works. Like he can get all the way to like mid 5 to bot 5, but like it's just gonna be dragged up, I assume, for the pain resonance. But okay, let's just see, because it's also pumping. But there is no pain resonance on the top side of the map, so Pepsi is deciding to hook this further down, which again you can see the 4-gen scenario, which you'd really want to get the hook on the top side. Anyway, me mumbling. All I'm trying to say is, I think Hunter's hook there was really fortunate for him, because although this gen doesn't pop now, they might be able to transfer the pressure across and like take the chase's bot side, due to that key location being, you know, so far out from the gens. But look at that! Now Tree is also found again, and we just have a repeat of the. Oh no, this is not Tree. This is Mercy. She's found, so this chase has to last.
It does have to last, Harvey, as you said perfectly. And, you know, Pepsi is very good on the killer. 10,000 hours dedicated to the game. I can't remember what tournament, but oh my goodness, very well, nicely done from Mercy to get the stun and told that dog to get the fuck out the way. This is my filler. It's mine, no one else's. So very nicely done. We are going to take back to the pallet now. For a second, I thought the killer vaulted the pallet, but the window. But you know, very nicely done. Actually, juicing a good amount now. Winning a 50. They've run around and haven't held the check spot, so unfortunate there. But again, it could have been. That is actually a nice little time burner. Now, this is going to be pain res, so this doesn't help much, does it, Tavi? But you know, Hunter setting up for the pool, I believe. So you know, we might see something happen. But yeah, pardon me. But honestly, it's not looking great at the moment for the survivors. They are a little bit behind on their gen pressure now, as it's starting to slowly build with the pop. All the value coming out, as now all the survivors remaining in the trial have been hooked, so it does not help. And Tavi, what do you do in a situation like this? You need to just get the unhook and send it towards the bottom of the map, no?
Well, they need to get the unhook, and then they cannot allow another hook to happen in this trial, because that would just be the game over. There would be 7 hooks for Pepsi and 4 fresh. Oh wait, no, okay, 2 more hooks. My bad, I can't count. 2 more hooks for Pepsi will be required. But they do find a Tree here, so in theory this could be a win condition coming through. Tree does take the dog, and Pepsi actually wisely going to wait for the dog recharge to come back a little bit before M1ing. This is a technique we've seen quite often in comp, but only now I've actually seen it in Season 5. So Tree's just going to immediately go down. Really nice from micro there. And I don't know if our survivors can really do much. They would have to pop a generator and get every survivor out of the door to just secure a tie condition. and I don't think the generators are really going anywhere at this point. Well, one of them is going to pop, and the rest of them, I think, are just going to be completely not doable. You can see Mercy is just taking a bit of the ground there. Hunter takes the dog, so yeah, I mean, realistically, if we don't get some pub Juka type spits thing going on, I mean, I just failed to see it at this point, so they need to also reset, and yeah, Pepsi just seems to want to camp the hook to secure the win condition, and also as a 3-gen top side where the hook is, yeah, it's just everything's going their way now.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy. They're obviously playing for the 4K one, which was, to be fair, they got the generator done in the end, so good on them for that. But, you know, Pepsi clearly knows what they're doing on this killer. This is a killer by all means that is looked at as harmless. It's not very strong. It's stage killer. It's not one that you often see getting 4Ks. Now we're starting to see other killers slowly like that. Some people are starting to say that, I'm not going to say people's names, but people reckon that Billy is starting to become more of an outs killer. And, there's killers that are, like Oni is outs, and, there's certain killers that are starting to, Wesker, your Billy. So yes, it comes to the thought, it's what a dog that is. It comes to the thought where, some of these killers are just completely harmless compared to others, but they're still so, you have to play, point perfect if you want to get out, and that's almost on any killer, not just the Houndmaster. So, to be completely honest, Pepsi has played this very, very nicely to get a 4K1, and he will be looking for the big man, the CEO himself, but I'm not sure if he will be able to locate him because he is starting to hide a little bit. Now, Headhunter, you might want to come out, buddy, before, this man comes and gets you with his dog, and Headhunter is stealthing behind main, so very nicely done, and we actually like this, very nicely, to stealth, so, but he does not care. He wants this final generator popped. He wants outs, which is fair enough, so he's going to have to wait. Now, Tavi, obviously, as we wait for the big Pepsi Max to spot out the Headhunter, what are your thoughts on the next set in the bag? We have the Dragula. What are your thoughts, mate?
Well, I think Dracula is going to be. I predict that it will also be in the favor of who I presume is playing Pepsi's favor. The thing I base this off is a bit of prior experience with the East Asian Dracula players and the kind of results that they got on Dracula, like 4K2, 4K3, 4K1 on Wreckers. Of course, we're not playing on Wreckers in this season. It's going to be Retro Trot, but still, it's a similar kind of map, like similar kind of vibe. And I think if Pepsi gets a 4K1 on Handmaster, and they also are going to play Dracula, and that was the set that they picked for for set 2, then I'm not sure if CatJam should be happy that this set 1 is not going in their favor, because it's going to be a rough ride for them in set 2. But yeah, that's a bit of a prediction for me. Hunter's still kind of doing the pub stealth thing, and it does work out. He does get the pull there from 3, and it's just going to be a bit of a split up. So maybe you can cast a bit of a 1v1 soon, Hasso. Actually, wait, Hasso, have you casted any 1v1s? I'm actually not sure.
Yes, I have. But we don't talk about them. That was the old days. Now, we are locked in though here on the Houndmaster. A 4K1 result will be it. Now, Headhunter must be giving Pepsi a headache, just going back and forth, just trying to burn time. The old man, just burning time. That's what we love sometimes in OSL. Survivors doing Survivor things. Now, Headhunter, you might want to run to Shackmate and crouch. We want to see a 1v1 go on. So now we are stealthing behind main, and we are going to break the pallet behind main, but we are not going to go behind main. So I've said main about 5 times in the span of 10 seconds. So, but yeah, I mean, Tavi, we've got Dracula up next. Never seen Sir Smoke on it. I'm not sure if it's confirmed that Sir Smoke's playing it, but you know, you'd assume it'd be him because he plays almost every killer for the team. So honestly, I have no idea. What are your thoughts?
Um, yeah, we'll just have to see. Like, I do remember Smunk taking the mantle on multiple teams in the past, like playing a lot of killers. So I would not necessarily count his Dracula out in this matchup. Unfortunate Mercy goes down there, but I think that was a pink pig. Um, so I wouldn't count him out. I do feel like the Houndmaster play was just slightly impatient. There was a lot of times where Smunk just immediately went to the dog and tried to pre-fire the survivor's carving, which is fine. It is fine, but it is something that did not really work that well. And with Dracula, I think patience is extremely important. Hellfire is a very, very powerful ability, which will pretty much, you know, like it forces the survivor to do stupid things. And so does it, like the dog is even worse in that respect. It's like a Wesker ability, but actually, what's the downside? I guess maybe shorter range than Wesker Dash. So you've got like a Pyramid Head and a Wesker rolled into one. You can use them anytime, pretty much no cooldown, and then also a bit of a Wraith. So again, those killers like you should have like extreme patience on, I think. So I will hope that Smunk can perhaps change what he did in the Houndmaster set, because again I do think he was slightly impatient, and this is a bit of a
Oh
funny
my
stat.
god.
But yeah, I I will just have to see how Pepsi plays this out. He's hearing the sound cue, right?
What?
He's listening for the sound. I think he's listening for the sound.
Yeah.
Ah.
Noted, we have spotted Headhunter 111, the CEO himself. Now, he's going to go in for a little bit of a chase here. He's not going to greed. Now, that is just going to be the death onto the big man. So, you know, that'll be the end of the Houndmaster set. It was actually a very great watch on both sides. We obviously had a great result here for a 1. We are, I think, going to take a short intermission. I really need to get some water, go to the bathroom. So we will take a short intermission, and we will be back right with you with the next Dracula set. Is a killer that is very relied on for your knowledge of the game. If you can hear, if you can spot, if you can do it all, the Dracula is the killer for you. It's not your, you know, how good you are at the blight sort of thing. It is if you can see survivors moving while in bat form, anything is possible. Now we are loading in P1 on the Dracula. We still may have scrimmed them a lot. We are running no Call of Brian, so you're running the Pain Rose Eruption, Wretched Fate, and Corrupt, so, you know, a bit more of a different stock standard build, but overall very nice. And Tavi, you know, keen for this one, mate?
Hello? Hello? Oh, sorry, my mic was dead.
All good.
Yeah, I'm fairly surprised to not see Pepsi taking the reins for this one. We do see Hunter though, yet I am two tapped in a bit of a. Let's pretend he said that anyway, because we can't hear his comms, of course. But yeah, that's a really fast down for Oscillator, and they would just take this hook really quickly on this top side of the map. So, I do agree with you, Hasso. Like, Dracula is more than just like pure mechanics. For pretty much every movement killer, you will have to have a really good game sense. Try and guess where survivors are, try and guess the rotations and so on. But I think for Dracula again is like very important too, because the bat form you can't see anyone, so you have to just rely on general positioning and like sound cues. I saw the glass move kind of thing, not referencing Rocket at all. But yeah, now that CatJam have pulled early, I guess we can see if Oscillator will take advantage of these abilities. He's just gonna force an edge match dog bite down, and yeah, just accelerate this game in his favor, I think. So we have a stage 2 at 5 gens, Hasso. I don't think anyone's surprised by that, but I guess Oscillator's just doing his job really well.
Yeah, I mean, it's killer. Like you said, Tavi, like I said, like we both said, this killer is one where you have to be very smart, not just on not just on certain, you know, killers, but especially this, but in your bat form, in all forms, you need to be smart on this killer. So, you know, I do think that this has been very nicely done. We have only popped one generator for 2 stages onto the big man himself, so you know the pressure is going to start to build on these survivors very shortly if they don't get on the generators. But they also need to pull him eventually. So you know at this point we can just sit here with our Hellfire beam pillars out and just wait. So I think that's probably what's going to happen any second. So it's more, I don't really know how to put it. It's more a really bad situation that they could be in, but they need to get this unhooked, and that's what they're going to do. That is very beautifully done. That is what you need. They haven't given off a Hellfire yet, so, you know, for them to do this, their Headhunter now probably wants to send it towards the bottom of the map here, if he can make it, because the Jets are more top. And what the Dead Hard coming out of nowhere, so good on him. Great Dead Hard there from the big man, so we are now going to buy a bit of time here and hopefully avoid these Hellfire flames as much as possible. We do have another filler here to work with. Now we are just sending it away. The big man Headhunter knows what he's doing, just sending it away. He's going to run into a pair of tires here and he's going to go down, so very unfortunate. Now, could there be someone lurking with a beamer? Then will not be. There'll just be another down onto Storm's light, so unfortunate there. So, you know, they are in a very difficult situation. Tavi, thoughts so far?
Yeah, that was an extremely good dead hard from Hunter there. I'm not sure if on if you caught what the killer was doing on the fake jungle gym from Timu. They were using the third person to kind of just get better vision on Hunter, but Hunter was like, I don't care, I'm gonna hit this dead hard and get another gen done for it. So although Storm's Light does go down, unfortunately for CatJam, they do have a fair amount of gens done for what I thought was going to be an extremely early tunnel out. So they could at least try and get a bit of a reset going on in this 3v1. It's going to be pretty difficult. Again, the Dracula's already got the pressure of having a hook already on board. So they also know that there's no more Dead Hard in the trial, which will be beneficial for later on. However, again, it's going to be down to the chasers and just down to game sense, whether Oscillator wants to commit the chase in the 3v1, whether they want to leave, whether they want to just take an injury and trust that maybe the survivor will have to play really passive. Maybe they just see a crow on the edge map, which will completely change the game. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to come down to the wire. Pardon me, just had to go off. Yeah, it will be close. So, you know, obviously we are going in here for the unhook, but it is looking like this will be 4K3, 4K2 territory, and that's a bit of, you know, a bit of a tough one here. We are running around this filler, playing this very nicely, getting the distance, be a bit of bad manners there. Nah, just fuck it, but just, you know, hitting on the hook on accident. But you know, Tav, we have seen plenty of performances that can shine. We did see JD earlier today nearly come back from it looked like he had, I think, 4 stages on the artist, and it looked like he genuinely could come back in 4K5. Anything is possible. Now, if it is a 4K3 in the end, this could still come out and be a 4K4 on the side of Sir Smog. So we will still have to wait and see. And you know, how do you put it? How is a killer like this? How is its ability used? So I mean, you're the person to ask, but how do you put it to the extent of saying that this killer is possibly one of the most micro-wise killers in the game? Because you have to be so mechanically gifted with this killer, not just gifted like microly, but also to be very macroly smart with it as well. So how do you put it? Where do you have this in the ranks of your killers?
That's actually a good point. I never really thought of tier listing killers before. Like I just had a nice light, nice, I guess. I never really thought about how like skillful Dracula is compared to other killers, but I have to say that the skill ceiling for this killer is extremely high. I do admit that I think a lot of it is with the Dracula form because there's so many players who just understand the wolf form really well and the bat form. I think the Hellfire form is going to be the hardest to master, but again, that's kind of like trying to compare it to Pyramid Head. So it is going to be extremely difficult to get better, although I think it's possible. Now, when you compare it to something like Blight, Blight you have to be fast. Um, you have to you have to know where you're bumping. You have to have very good awareness of your surroundings to know where to bump. Dracula, I think, is similar because you have to get some really
Oh,
fast flicks going on. Like we've seen Oscillator miss a few of them. That was a successful one right there, of like a dash then flick then dash. Similar
yeah.
can be said about Wesker, um, but I don't think Wesker is nearly on the same level as Dracula. Um, like other killers, I'm not really sure. I guess Nurse is completely different, so I'm not really sure if I could compare them per se. But yeah, I mean, Dracula's again like it's not just the fact that you have to be good in wolf form and bat form, which they both kind of inherently have their own 50/50s. There's also the king of the 50/50s, vampire form, which is again I'm gonna keep on going back to Pyramid Head for this, but yeah, it's just gonna be death onto Storm's Light now. No 50/50s needed here, I guess, and we can finally get Hasso. We can finally get the second Painless of the trial, as noted
Yeah.
by one of our match staff. We can finally get the second Painless of the trial, which was how many hooks in? 6 hooks in. One death, 2 deaths in. 6 hooks in the first Painless. Second hook is the second death. Oh my, that is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Darby, you do gotta say, the Dracula is very impressive. To be completely honest, I think watching these sort of, teams play, it is good to see that there is always teams that have players that play variety of killers. We obviously have Sir Smonk and we have Oscillator here, so this has been a very nicely well played on the side of Oscillator to get the result that he or she has gotten. A 4K3, Tavi, a 4K3 on this map. It's a giant map. This might be the first 4K3 that we have ever seen on this map, on this killer. So this is a very incredible result. What do you like? How do you say it? Because there is no way to just say, oh, it's a casual 4K3. A 4K3 on the Dracula on this map is bloody incredible. There is not much more to it. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory if you say it to me because, the result is not easy. So, you put it in front of you and you read it on paper and it's like, a 4K3 on the Dracula on this massive map. It's bloody incredible. So very nicely done, and I'm keen to see how Sir Smonk responds because I've never seen him play the killer, as I've said that, but he definitely could shine through, and I wouldn't put it past him if he does. So anything is possible, as I said, especially with what we've seen today. Today's had some filled up mysteries and some incredible games, plenty of ties, plenty of tie breakers. It's been an incredible but wonderful day, Tavi, and we are getting towards the end of it as we are now going to take the chase here, and we've gone flying off the top of the hill. Unfortunate there. So yes, as Jarms would say, a pissing on. So we've just flung off the side of the map now. Tavi, will we get a Hellfire? How do we play this out from here?
For Oscillator, really, they can do anything. On Smonk's side, though, I think Smunk will have to play really riskily, whether it be through what you said, through the Hellfire, whether it just be through going for very ambitious dog dashes. I think that's really going to be the best option in the early game. And if it does work, then you can think about getting a 4K3, which is again a monstrous result on really any killer. I think the in recent times the oh we're going for the nice got the ego Hellfire nice. Um yeah in recent times the closest killer I
Don't
could
be
think of to
overdramatic.
like consistent like 4K3 is like I guess Mr. Kaneki when he was broken as hell and could like dash across the map and break a pallet and then dash across the map again with like 4K1s. I saw a couple of 4K2s, but no 4K3s. So
Don't
again,
even
any killer that can
begin to
achieve that result is
escape.
going to be incredible. And when you're taking the responsibility of trying to meet a 4K3 win, oh not win, 4K3 tie condition, you would have to do something incredible or risk a lot for the bisque a lot.
Fire, but they've all gone to tiebreaker. So yeah, it's a bit of a loop de loop, but we're here. We're here on the final set, final game, final match for the night. We're gonna boot up. We have a skin on the Dracula, so Sir Smonk. I wonder if he's played this. We've never seen him on this killer. Now, Sir Smonk is going to need a 4K4 if he wants to win this and take it to a tiebreaker, which would be absolutely incredible if he could. We are going to get the stun here, and hold on a minute, hold on a second. No gen has been touched yet, and we might even have it down before it's even shut our eyes. So this is incredible. This is the life player though, so we are going to be playing with life a little bit. Now Sir Smonk is going to opt to go here, and we have flashlighted the big man, and oh my goodness, what a flashlight that was coming in to get the big Sir Smonk gone. So we are going to have to just play this to the best of our ability. Keep in mind, everybody, we do have life under our belt, so this could just be our get out of jail free card right here. So there is no doubt about that. Now Tavi, chase is going on for a little bit too long. There are gens now getting pumped in the background. This is not looking great.
And now Daha can get away with the light and just make so much more distance. I know Smunk is feeling the pressure at the moment, going for the ambitious Hellfires, knows that the gens will pop really quickly, you know, after the Houndmaster match. He would not be surprised to see number one go like that, boom. And we do
Oh,
finally
what
get
a
it down,
down.
but that is at the current win condition. That was yeah, nice little purposeful dog hole there from Smoking Bots. Will it be enough for the game? We'll have to see. That's the first pain res at least coming in action, so that perk will be active for will have some value in this trial. As this monk does check out the main building, does not see any signs of life though. Oh no, I just lied. There's some splash marks around main, but I think it's very important to apply the eruptions across the map, and of course the other regression perk called Blind, which is I think a very good combination with eruption. So those perks will start to build up slightly. If you can get the next down fairly quickly, I guess you can call the people, but health states don't matter here in the Dracula set. Maybe they do because Smunk misses the dog dashes. So though they do have Smunk does have the eruption on that gen on the top side. I'm not sure if it will be sufficient, depending on how long this chase goes for. It does seem like the dog dashes will miss. Okay, some incredible loot here. We'll finally take the tag though to the Hellfire, so Smunk needs to follow this up quickly, Hasso, otherwise it's going to lose another gen.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. This is not looking great here. The bodies come in, and Sir Smonk gets the down through the two bodies. Very nicely done. We have done like a nice little 360 to sort of bait away the survivors from there, but yeah, the pressure is now building on the big man. So a great chase we've had here. Now, honestly, dog form and bat form, it's one to always be questioned which one is better to be using more. I'd probably say the dog form, as we are going to catch out the next survivor and just go for the basic M1 here. But overall, I mean, there's actually a lot of value that Monk's getting from these perks. He's got, eruption on a couple gens, Call O'Brien, as we do see the final gen in the background pop, which will be the win to Kratos, but it's not over until the game is over. So, we are still going to play this one out. Now, keep in mind, the pressure is going to definitely start to build now as Monk does opt to camp this out. He is going to look for any survivors crossing over to that generator. Now, Tavi, what are your thoughts on these generators popping? Do you think he needs to leave this a little earlier and just hope that no one comes in for the save? Or do you think he just 100% confirms that this will be a death?
I think he has to confirm at least a trade, or if not a trade, then a slug trade into a death. That's a nice little fake there from Pepsi, the team captain, and he's going to actually get a Hellfire only onto one survivor, though, I think, looking by that. And it seems like Daha's just going to take the M1 to the back and just continue the chase on. So survivors have managed to get out of that pretty sticky situation really, really cleanly. So depending again on how long this chase goes, perhaps Monk leaves this. I think that would be pretty wise considering the gen pressure going on. Depending how long it goes, though, like we could see maybe maybe very, very low stages coming through. It's gonna be a missed pallet start from Darkstar, as it seems like it will be the down on 2. No, but a body block comes in from Darkstar just at the last second, and Smunk is going to just take the first stage on Painless quickly for presumably going back to the tunnel out. But it seems like maybe because of the proximity of the generators, which is, I guess, maybe the lack of the proximity of the generators to Hook, is just going to leave completely. So perhaps he can get more stages this way. I think this is a good decision. And there's a nice attempt, beautiful idea, but unfortunately it didn't work out that time. But yeah, definitely I think this is the way to go. You can't just allow the injured survivors to sit gens. You got to try at least pressure them. And just I'm saying that Adam's just sitting in a generator for free at the moment, but it is credit where credit is due. These chases are going incredibly for Kratos.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. There is no doubt in my mind that, even though Sir Smonker, oh my goodness, that survivor is glitching a little bit on my screen. I'm not too sure if that was just me, but we are going to get our next down now. I'm not too sure what all the gem progress is looking like, if these guys have any in the background, but this is definitely going to be out. Obviously, the paper is coming in. Yeah. Oh, clean break value. Okay, so yeah, that could be nice for the health state. But it does take time. So it's not going to be easy. That's all I can say for sure, Tavi. If Sir Smonk's going to get this 4K1, 4K0, he needs to make moves now, and no survivor is dead yet, so it's going to be very tough.
Yeah, and the survivors have just transitioned their pressure, so they sacrificed a few fresh hooks and pain resers to then secure multiple health states for the hooks. So you can see Adam does take the dog to the back end. Spunk unfortunately misses that hellfire, but I don't think Adam has anywhere to go. Maybe there's a fill here, but no, it seems like it's gone. And yeah, it's a bit of a I think just a misunderstanding there around that rock. But it doesn't really matter. Adam goes down. That's going to secure the final threshold for Smunk. And again, I think Kratos have transitioned that pressure extremely efficiently. From gens to then health states, and then now they can go back to gen safely. And Smunk is gonna look edge map and not find anyone. So this trial is just, I feel like it looked really promising with like so many injures just a bit earlier, but now suddenly there's also another second win coming through from Adam. That was a clean break from I believe that was Darkstar previously. Nice dog dash to secure the down there, but yeah, now so again there's just 3 healthy survivors, and although the bill of course got tapped here, there's just really hard to get and camp and secure like the hook while trying to defend the generators. So second stage for Bill, that's going to be the 6th of the trial, and Smunk is still looking for more, obviously. So, I think step number 1 will have to be kicking the generators. Like, okay, maybe take the tag onto the Death here. That was a
Oh,
beautiful Hellfire, but I think he needs to just kick the generators a bit more to start getting the eruptions in play. I can see the idea of trying to get the tunnel out now, but I think it's a bit too slow. Yeah,
yeah.
as I was predicting there, and he's kind of just doomed to this state here,
Oh,
unless he can potentially interrupt the gate. So this would be the 7th stage with this secured. Maybe he can get more.
yeah, I mean, absolutely. What a nice little dash there coming in front of Big Sir Smog. Now, keep in mind, you know, any killer at any given point is as strong as you know, make it as you will. So, you know, I think, you know, that is a death. Sir Smog definitely etching to find, you know, more survivors. Hopefully find one of those fresh or, you know, one stage, one hook, first hook survivors. You know, obviously maybe, you know, Duxter or someone like that, or Pepsi. So it's it's sort of, you know, tough because he's in a situation where even though the win con is lost, you know, something I will say is, to be completely honest with you, Tavi, is one thing that I absolutely love about the comp scene and OSL is players like this, and every player that plays, no matter the result, whether they get one stage or two stage, they don't give up at all until their game is done. That is when they say, you know, they accept the result. That is something that even if you don't get the result you want, you're kidding. I'm not sure how this. We're getting away, and oh my goodness, we're being stuck. Oh my goodness. Could be a flashbang.
Oh,
No. But yeah, as I was saying, I think one thing that I love about the whole scene is, you know, Sir Smog, even though he didn't get the result he wanted, he still played his heart out, played the result till he got it. And, you know, he may not have won the game at the end of the day, but he did give it his best, and that is something that we absolutely love. So that will finish us off for the games tonight. Now,